Hey, so it's a long time since I've made a video. I apologize. You know, been working on stuff, uh, going back and forth. But I'm here now. I'm gonna make a video. So I saw a cool tutorial, Blender tutorial, where they use the Eevee, and it was by Ducky 3D, and he created this. Let's see if I can find it. Ducky 3D. I'll break it up on screen. Just pause that so we don't trigger any, So he created this cool sci-fi scene, sci-fi environment, and it's looping. But he's using the Eevee renderer. But we can create this similar look and feel in Ventuz, hopefully. So we'll try to create our own version of this. We won't copy it exactly, but if you wanna find out where to get the Blender plugins and how to create all the materials and the looks and stuff, and then you can import those in later anyway. This is really good tutorial, so Ducky 3D, check him out. I'm gonna kind of jump ahead, so I've already kind of created, if I jump into Blender for a second, I've already created the scene like and exported it as a GLTF. But I can show you a quick example. So here you'll get the grid breaker. You'll create the grid, like you'd say, okay, create your seed or whatever, and how many cuts you want or whatever you want. Add some height or whatever you want, randomize it. You create your cool patterns that you need, so number of cuts or less cuts. You can change that margin size and all sorts. And then what you'll do is let me take this back to 0. So what you'll do is you'd get create a curve. So add a curve, or is it a circle? And you'd say, okay, apply modifier curve. And then you'd say, okay, that's the circle. Don't add height until you've worked out your circle, and don't expand the number of cells as well, because it just slows down. So once you've kind of worked out your circle, so I've kind of worked out mine's like 35, around 35.30, whatever that is, and now I can increase the value here. So if I say 35, there you go. It just speeds it up because it takes forever. If you increase that height and it'll take forever to work out, depending on your machine, but it did stall for me, kind of. But yeah, there you go. So once you say that's like one of the rings that I've created anyway, and then you create the other ring, and you just go file. Once you create your scene, if you go through this tutorial, you go file, export. I exported as a GLTF. So this is not really a Blender tutorial, just to let you know, but the tutorial I'll put the link below. But yeah, I created all the assets using Blender. Okay, so don't save. I'm gonna jump straight into Ventuz, so we're just skipping ahead there. So in my stuff folder, I've got this sci-fi scene. It does help if I have a created empty scene, so I can drop it into it. So I'll just drag and drop the GLTF. That's why I like GLTF, because you can just drop it in and you get your cameras, all your axes, everything. You can do it from Cinema 4D or whatever you want, whatever software you're using. However, I'm starting to like Blender a lot, but you can see this is what I created in Blender, that tutorial. I'm going to just delete this axis because I set my pivot point center on that axis was different, so by just removing that, it allows me to do this. Now in the tutorial, I'm kind of waffling on, but he had multiple isospheres inside it. All I did is export one, because what I can do is in Ventuz we got the spreader, and we can use the spreader and say scale and rotate that, and you can choose how many you want. You can have 100, or you can have 5, or you can have 3. We're gonna have 3, but as you can see, I don't need to import the additional mesh because I can just do the instance with the spreader, doing the instance of it, and then yeah, that'll do it for us. And then what we can do is it's already animated, so we can animate on an axis, or we can animate on that axis, and there you go. So I'm going to just click the little wiggly line and say rotate -360, and if I want to pop out that mover so I can see it, there you go, you can do that. And you can slow this down, say 50. Now it slows down and we got the scene. So that's kind of cool, right? I'm gonna make it look more cool. So let's add the little orb. So as you can see, I didn't do the orb as well in the middle with the glowing, so I'm just going to use a sphere in Ventuz, and this will be our glowing orb. So this is our orb. What we're going to do we're going to change this engine to high dynamic range. We're going to add a HDR later in a second. Don't worry, we'll do this bit in a second. I want to turn on bloom. Everything's going to bloom, right? Change that threshold to 0. The amount to 0.3, so 0.3. Dials everything down. Now on your material, put the material on the sphere. Set this to a phone. Okay, go to here, add a color. You set the target to the emissive. You can see already it's got that glow. And you increase the amount, and you'll see this will start to glow more. So it's a great video on the Ventuz webinars where Dennis goes through the materials. Check it out because he goes over this, how you do this, really cool technique. But yeah, if I do 1000, I'll just add another 0. You can see there's the bloom. If I turn this off, you get the bloom. So the bloom only affects this object, it won't affect everything else, which is really cool. So you're just saying only the emissive channel, and it was really cool. So I thought that was fantastic. Anyway, what I'm gonna do is go on my shadow options as well on this, and what I want to do is go shadow options and say cast, receive off. I'm gonna turn those all off, they're just off, so I can put a point light in here. So I'm gonna go to point light with shadow, see, and we can position this. So if you want to see your point light, you can click the little cone. It says show non-rendered objects. That'll show you your little cone. You can see that's the point light. And then you can change the range, and you can increase the gain. There we go. That's looking cool. I want it to, yeah, there we go. So now it should be, if I move this up to the top, now it affects everything. I'll just turn my non-render objects off. Now I'm casting a shadow outwards, and it's kind of lighting, this orb is lighting our environment. Because we turned the shadow cells off, this, because it's a light, it's emissive, so I want to put the point light in it, so it just looks like it's coming out of there. What I want to do as well is select the point light and the emissive light or whatever, and I'm just gonna say put this, get a color. I'm gonna use a color value here, and this will set the color for these. So if I go here, color value, I'll link that here. You can also link that basically. I don't think it does anything, but just do it if you want. It's not a biggie. And the point light, I'm gonna do the diffuse and specular. So there we go. So now if I change that, you see it goes to red, and change the color. The orb, and I just change it. I don't have to go into the point light, just that, and then change that orb color. I can just change that one color value and cycle through the colors. Like that. Now the shadows, they look kind of heavy, so if you want, you can click on the point light itself, go into the shadow options here, and you can just knock down that amount if you want to make it a bit more soft, a bit more faded. There we go. Up to you, depending on the look you're going for. I want to go for like a golden look. There we go. go for something like this. We can tweak it after, not a problem. So we've got these elements here. So we've got these cool elements. And of course we can animate these rotating by just simply putting like the rotation on the movers. And just pop that mover out, as you can see. And you can have that going at different speeds. Perhaps you want it to go to counterclockwise, opposite of the light. So you know you got all those cool movements. That looks pretty dark. The scene does look pretty dark. So we can add in a directional light. Okay, I'm gonna place this at the top of the scene. Say actually, I don't want to, but hang on. I want directional light with shadow, please. You can always turn it on, but it's just nice that it's already turned on. But if it's turned off, you just go here, check it, and then you know you can turn it on yourself. And I want to point it downwards. This, you know, it just looks cool. You know, just adds that little bit more. But I want to change the gain, so knock it down the gain a bit. And the shadow, I want to change. Turn it down a little bit. So it's really faint, but it just adds that a little bit. Just makes it look much more nicer. There we go. Now we can create a material again for our rings. So you can create a material for this. What we're gonna do is we're gonna duplicate this. We're gonna move these up. We're gonna rotate these as well. Oh, did I rotate them in the right direction? I did. Yeah. There we go. Minus 180. Oh, minus 180. There we go. We can move these different heights. So if I rotate this whole scene in here, get from the side. There we go. Now I can position these how I feel I like them. It's up to you. You can position them however you want. There's no rule. There's no law. You can make it whatever you want. You can even, for example, if you want, you can go say, oh, I'm going to use a spreader, and go bam, and go spreader. Okay, and then I want more, and I want to make them bigger. You know, I want 5 more. Whatever you want, you know. No more. There we go. You can create all these kind of cool effects. Hey, if you did this and then did this, you know, hey. But yeah, get the idea. Anyway, back to this. We'll just keep it really clean and simple. Okay, and this one. I'm gonna move this directional light. Now we've got a bit of this casting down. That looks kind of cool. I'm gonna just reset this position here. What I'm gonna do is get a camera, drop that in the scene. You can change the field of view if you want, so you can play around with the field of view, and then just change like the position, zoom in a bit. Just looks a bit more, you know, cool. Okay. Really simple, we haven't done much, but it just looks cool. Of course you can change this to Fong, and this one to Fong as well. You know, and you can give these a color if you want. I'm gonna leave it grey for now. We'll change it in a second if we need to. If you want, you can create the metals and the speculars and all of that, and export that out of Blender. You can bake your PPR using another plugin called Simple Bake, and then bring it in, and the PPR materials work from Blender. And here, if you export it with the GLTF, once you bake the materials and then export as a GLTF, then the materials will come with it. Anyway, enough of me waffling on. We don't have a material on this, so again, we can add a material on the little sphere as well. I'm gonna say form for now. We will change some of these settings in a second, but as you can see here, and choose roughness and whatever. But let's go in here and add the skybox. So let's add the skybox to the top. Boom. Now I don't know if I have a HDR, but I'm going to just load the random. But you can see the checkered thing, Definitely check out Dennis's videos, the webinar. He explains how this all works, and I'm just going to use this. It's a JPEG, but yeah. You have to use a HDRI image or what's it? They said EXR. I think I do have. No, I don't have one, but I'll just use JPEG for them. Texture. That in. There we go. I'm gonna turn the drawer off, so it's kind of cool. You can see if you rotate this, it's kind of adding that extra, cool stuff to see. And I believe he changed something. He was changing something here, like he was changing it to gamma 2 because of Ventuz, which I can't remember fully. I have to rewatch it. I do watch this from time to time. But when you do multiple things, you can't remember everything, I guess. But yeah. And I think there's a amount here, isn't there? Yeah, we can tweak the amount, so I'm gonna just reduce that amount. Bring that down. And then here. I can choose how rough it is. You can see here up here. I'll bring the specular down. And it's to like a grey. Actually, what I could do is just have one material for both. Right. So that's all the rings will have just one material. Can't really see what's going on with my light up here. Where you see there we go. See the shadow again. Cool. Now, what's this level? Let's see what this. Okay, I'm just going to be dragging some sliders now. Let's change. Is there a mountain in here? I'll load that mount as well. Texture. This texture doesn't matter because it's hidden. I don't even think we need it turned on. There we go. Okay, so the irradiance, I hope I said it right, it's like the lights basically. I believe he said it's like say this is lighting, this is the lighting, and then the specular is just specular. It's just specular effect. Okay, so maybe I'll turn the specular on. It's fine. I like that, and then I'll just adjust my lights in. So this material here, I want this to be darker. So yeah, you got roughness and here too. I like that. Right now it looks very static because you can see the inside moving, but the outside's not because it just looks boring. So let's add slow rotation on that. So we can just add some rotation here, and this one clockwise. Let's open this up. Counterclockwise. There we go. And that's going pretty fast, right? Increase the duration. Increase that duration. There we go. Now we've got some kind of movement going on. If you want to, you can collapse those and just right click and it uncollapses those. If you want, like I pop them out. Normally I pop these out because it's just easier for me. It's easier to find if you can see something's connected. I mean, you can see it's connected here with the little icon, but it's just I'm used to having it in the content window here. But yeah, it's up to you. Anyway, let's get back to it. So we got this kind of look going on. Let's get fog. What fog? Got fog in it. See. I'm gonna change it to black. Right. Change the power. Play around with that. Oh, it looks like it fades out in the back, So just adds a little bit more, makes it look a bit more dramatic. I wonder what happens if I did increase this. Okay, so you can increase. I'll just increase that slight amount of the bloom for like 0.8. But yeah, I think massive. And increase that range of my line. My point not actually doing anything anymore. Oh yeah, he's doing something. There it is. I had to increase the gain. Let's turn that non-render object on. Somehow I'm. There we go. What's that? Run non-render objects off. Okay, and go in here. I'm going to turn depth of field on. We want this not to be blurred. Yeah. Find that amount. I wish you could just like say put a anchor and then say this is the to do the blur, like like in Cinema 4D you can say this null object and then you set the blur, if you could set the blur rather than styling a slider. Yeah. Sorry for the interruption. Sorry, I got paused there. But yeah. There you go. But yeah, you can tweak that anyway. There we go. I like that. That looks cool. I might tweak the fog a tiny bit more. Put that in a bit more. Cool. Once you're happy with that, I mean, it doesn't look amazing right now, but the wrong one. I'm trying to move this one. I can move that one. It's fine. Okay. what I'll do is axis, a circle, and we'll scale this up. Rotate this 90, put a hole in it. Yes, I'm gonna borrow this material. Put it on there. Okay. That hole smaller. Change the angle. Start. Maybe a spreader. That circle. You know. Use the angle so it's really tiny. Increase the rings and the jump. Probably easier if I bring it out of the ground so I can see what I'm editing, but you get the idea. Slightly less bloom. This one has another color if you want. You can make a different color, whatever you want. I think this we need more. Okay. Anyway, you can keep on adding elements to this and you get the idea. I'm gonna add one more thing. Let's add in this. It's texture. Oh, material. Sorry, material. The rectangle. Texture. Basic alpha. And then load in a texture. See, we should have some kind of clouds. What's this? People. Just gotta be careful I don't display anything from other project work that I'm not supposed to show, so I'm just gonna move that to the side. Okay, I loaded in this cloud texture as you can see. I'll scale this up. Go. Bring this forward in Z. I want to blend this. But I'm gonna do this. Clone. And then say this is the as an alpha. There we go. I just reuse the texture. And you can add hit in of orange in there. Oh. Sorry. And I'll just bring this forward. Just add some, you know, a bit of more. Oh, just a bit of smoky texture, you know. If you want, you could go in and add particles. I'm going to say billboard this, so it's always facing the camera. This one, like this, after the axis. Change X and the Z, so it's just only on the Y rotation, so I can still tilt it. That won't affect it, and I can still move it and scale it. There you go. Well, you can duplicate this. I have another axis on this one. then just give this a different tint. Whatever you want, it doesn't matter to be honest, you know, whatever colour you. So for like a reddish, pinkish, reddish. Feel that this material here, oh, the base coloured. It's a bit darker. I think it's specular's not doing anything, is it? Oh, it's doing something. I can see it there. Yeah, it'll definitely, this would look a lot better if I had that, if I made the metal material, but yeah, I'm happy with that. And then if you want, then of course this you could spin as well. Oh, this is on billboard on the Y. Why is it not? Actually, that build, just do this axis. All of that in there, just take this out. Just take this out the group. So this can rotate. The smoke will stay still. And then if you want, you could animate the UV on that. You know, all this rotation. Z rotate clockwise. It looks weird right now because it's going extra force. Maybe you know you'll just slow that down. This looks very subtle. Same on this one. 2D mapping UV0. Rotate counterclockwise or whatever. And then 45. That 50. There we go. Now we've got kind of a bit more movement going on. Which looks more interesting. Apart from that, this boring material here. Sure you can do something better than that. But can I even just, where's this one? Just take this. Get rid of this one. Oh, still the same. Why does it look weird? Maybe I can add the texture to it. Let's use a loader. Let's add this. And let's try triplanar, model space. Wrap. Looks like it's shadow, doesn't it? Nah, don't do that. Don't do that. Do that. Definitely just leave it like that. Turn it down. But anyway, I think that's it for me. Yeah, look at that. Move the lights around. Everything's moving, you know. What you can give color, you can add color to this. You know, you can go experiment, try different things. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I like this. I'll try to do more videos. It was just a short one in the evening, you know, after work. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this. Again, I'll put the links if you want to like follow the tutorials to do like all the materials and stuff. If you want to, you know, create all of that stuff yourself. It's definitely worth doing it. Oh, we could have animated this as well. But yeah, of course we could duplicate this. So, yeah, all sorts of, you know, all interesting stuff. Right now the back face is turned off, so you have to say solid, none. You can see it almost all solids. Wow. Go. But yeah, you get the idea. Make all sorts of cool stuff. And I could keep on adding to this, and you know, and keep on putting stuff in here. And but I should have thought, get rid of that. Select all these colored materials that are changing. Yeah, I want to go change with the light. I should have linked them maybe all to this value here. It can get messy, but get rid of that. I don't need that because that's just because when I duplicated it. But yeah, just bam. I'll get that color value there. Receive color value here. It's base color of the smoke be the same color as that, and this as well if you want it. And all I have to do is change one color, and then you know, totally different. Move the camera. Oh, and you know what you could do? Just be a bit extra. You just get a spreader on the smoke, little texture smoke flares. Same there. Step count. I did not. Have to do it before. Probably, yeah. There we go. Get the camera. There we go. Whatever you want. But then you probably have to move this back. But you get the idea. You can keep on build. You can build with this. Oh, I'm holding Alt, not Alt. Perhaps I'll get a mover. Blasphemy. Or second mover blasphemy. That bit. We don't want to go to version rank. Say -10, -10. Design. Woo. There you go. Simple, but yeah, you know, if you want, you can add another removal, and maybe just roll or tilt roll it. Let's say 14 to 0. And so on and so on. You know, you get the idea. You build up your layers. You make it look more cool. All sorts. Check that out. But yeah. You see, but yeah, I'm just not being silly, but you can see all the cool effects you can create. Really simple geometry, nothing fancy. Again, it's just going to be other direction. If we want last thing, I keep on saying last thing, but we get a HSV. We take the color, that's an HSV. That looks so mean. That looks so cool. So mean machine. But we want a movement for this as well. And we just go from 0 to 255. 0 to 255. We'll go through all the colors and slow that down if you want. But yeah. There you go. Cycle through some colors and you know that can be looping. Last thing, you can add post effects on top if you want. I don't know if what will happen when we add the glare on top. It just looks more cool, but there we go. Post effects, glare. I want to add some distortion. I want to add the barrel. Not that way, the other way, please. Yeah. There you go. I could keep on building, adding more and more and more. And that's why I like it. Ventuz is such a cool tool. But yeah. Anyway, thank you again. Hopefully I'll make another video. Don't forget to hit like, share, subscribe. See you soon. Bye bye.